Belarus must be held accountable for human trafficking, say the leaders of the Baltic states. At a meeting in Vilnius, the presidents of Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania squarely laid the blame of the current migrant crisis at the door of the Lukashenko regime. They called for a tightening of EU asylum policy and urged the hitherto reluctant EU executive to provide adequate EU financial support for building physical barriers and infrastructure.
We can see how the situation on the Lithuania's border is deteriorating. This situation requires immediate solutions and actions on the European and international level. The growing threat on the border with Belarus is not only the problem for Lithuania and Poland. We are protecting the external borders of the EU and NATO.
On Monday, hundreds of migrants found themselves trapped at a border crossing, unable to go forwards or backwards between Poland and Belarus. Rumours had claimed the frontier was open, but their hopes were soon dashed. Meanwhile, EU foreign ministers are to move ahead with imposing yet more sanctions on Belarus, details to be confirmed later this week. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, who has threatened retaliation over fresh sanctions, claims his people are trying to repatriate stranded migrants, but many are refusing to go.
For the first time since the start of the border crisis, a funeral was held in Poland this Monday for one of the migrants who died while trying to cross the border from Belarus. The 19-year-old Syrian man was buried here in the small Tatar Muslim village of Bohoniki, which is close to the border. Now, it was a sad day for the community, who told me they feared and they expected that more like him would end up in their graveyard if the situation didn't improve. According to the latest figures given by the Polish border authorities, there are now some 3,500 people stuck at the border in Belarus, which is accused of trying to force them through the fence. And actually, journalists for the past 2 days have been receiving several testimonies from migrants. They're saying that tools had been handed out for them to cut the fence, and even tear gas for them to use against Polish security forces. So while there's no visibility here on what exactly is going on, aside from what circulates on the media and social media, speculation is going wild on a possible storm of the border, which some people have told me they fear could end up in, I quote, a massacre. On the other hand, there's also increasing disbelief that any of the parties involved could let that happen. Now the question is how, when and who will prevent it, as the one thing everyone agrees on here is that time is running out. Valerie Goria from Bohoniki in eastern Poland for Euronews.